Okay, it's time to start putting this little beauty back together. As you can see, I hope you can see, it's come out of having some Danish oil popped on it, and it's come up. You can see the light on that, but it's come up amazing. It's certainly a big improvement on what it was before. Anyway, I've got to put this mass of screws and that back in it now. I've still got a few bits to do. I've got the back panel still downstairs because that's that needed an extra coat. It's been in the sun quite a lot. I've just noticed I've got a little bit missing there that I need to just touch up, but I can do that in a bit. So let me think. I need to get the handle back on next, really. Before I do that, I'm just going to give it a quick clean up. I've obviously refinished the woodwork on it, but I just need to give a method go over with the brasso. So bear with me. I'll get that done off camera. Well, that's that cleaned up. If you can see that, but obviously Dynatron went to the trouble of even chrome plating the washers. Look at that. So there we go. So basically that goes through there like that. They've got a little fibre washer, pops on the back, through the case. Be careful not to scratch this. And then, where's my washer gone? Then we have the washer and a nut. Need about 5 pairs of hands for this. So I'm just catching that one. So I've just got to do the other nut and washer now, clean that up the same. Right, well, here we are again, one handle on. Next bit is to pop the speakers back in from memory. Yeah, the handles come up really nice. There's a lot of glue on the top there. I thought it was actual scratching, but it was glue, so I've managed to very carefully scratch that off and retain the chrome finish, so well pleased with that. Right, speakers, 2 off. Just going to give them a very light brushing. I mean very light. If you do this, do it at your own risk. Speakers get very thin over the years. Again, be careful with the air duster as well. She can blow a hole straight through them. How do I know? Because I've done it. It's pretty gutting, especially if it's a rare radio and you've not got a chance of getting another one. So just real light. There we go. I'll try and remember which way these went in now. So they're both together. Were they that way up or were they that way up? I think they were that way up. Not that it makes any difference, but I will get them back in the same place. So I'm just going to check my photos. Right, there's the speakers back in. As I say, unfortunately I lost a video where I was disassembling this radio. Let's see if I can just get you in a little bit closer. Just want to show you a close-up of the speakers. It's a little bit unusual because obviously we've got these battery lead retaining clips on the bottoms, both corners, but the top speaker mounts for some reason had 3 washers on each one. I really don't know why. Whether it's to stop you catching your hands on them or something, I don't know, but the bottom ones only had 1, which is a little bit strange, I thought, unless it's some sort of signature thing of the guy that built this radio originally. You never know. Just thought I'd show you that anyway. So we're getting there. That's that bit in. Next bit, really, I've got to clean up this piano hinge in a minute, but that can go on last because I'm not ready with the back panel till later on tonight. So next, I suppose we've got to pop the amplifier board back in. Now again, I did lose some video on this, so I'll go over that now. This is basically the capacitors that I changed. Those 2 were on the main board. If you can actually see there now, let me just get you down a little bit. So yeah, those 2 were on the main board. 200 microfarads, both well over that. Over 300 microfarads actually. On the amplifier board, I've changed 3 out of the 6. Basically, there's some very strange values in there. There is a 12.5 microfarad electrolytic. Very strange. 2 of those in there. I've got nothing near that. And the other 2 again were values I didn't have exact matches, and when I took them out, all of these capacitors have been out, by the way, the electrolytics, and tested, and there's only 3 in that board that were gone, and that was those 3. So I've replaced them with blue ones to be sympathetic. Unfortunately I haven't got an aluminium one, but that's still blue. Vichy's good quality capacitors. The other 2 I've put in another Vichy and a Philips. But hopefully, as I say, I wanted to try and keep it in keeping with the old style. So I'll get you a little bit closer, you can see that. So yeah. There we are. As I say, these, well, actually there's 4 that I've left in. I've just changed these 3 in the front, all the rest have checked out fine. So anyway, I'm going to give this a little bit of a clean up before it goes back in. It's a bit dusty, a bit rusty in places, so I'm going to give that a clean up in a minute. Right, that's all cleaned up. Came up quite nice. Didn't take long. Chrome everywhere again. Inside I've just cleaned off some of the rust on top of this. Blown the dust out, just give it a wipe over really. So that one just sits back in there. With a couple screws and a couple washers, which are here. I'm not going to do these up tight yet because when the radio goes, the back goes back on, this slides forward so as it's flush with the back panel. As I say, that's should be ready about 8 o'clock tonight. Oh, I hope I don't just scratch the side of that one. So yeah, that just moves in and out. Coil as well. But one good thing with Danish oil, buffs out dead easy, hopefully. There we go. Right, so that's back in. Speaker lead's got to go back on. Let's get my little pictures back out again because unusual speaker configuration, being they've got 2 speakers. So let's get these gloves off. Get through a fair few of those. So we've got the double red wire goes on the top. Single brown over that side. Single. Double red. Single red on the bottom. On the top. One other thing I did do when I took this set apart, when I cleaned it up just now, is I've cleaned this switch with switch cleaner, and I've also cleaned the extension loudspeaker. Yeah, it's strange because normally it's headphone socket, isn't it? But this says extension LS, which I'm assuming means loudspeaker. But I would think this is not a stereo radio, it's only mono, it's just these are wired up together. So there we are. Next we need to get the top back in, all plugged in. So I've got to get the dial plate polished up as well, but I'll do that last. Okay, well I'm just getting ready to install the chassis back in. Just wondering really, am I going to be able to get to those screws to put the amp back in? Feed these speaker cables, battery leads back in, hook them over these little retainers. There we go. That's that bit. Got to solder back the aerial wire. This was tucked up inside there before, so let's do that again. Okay, I've just gone over this one with a fiberglass pencil. Just make sure all those contacts are squeaky clean. So, the right way up here. Yeah, we are. I can plug back in there. trouble when you've refinished already, you're scared to death of scratching the thing again. I'm sure that cable wasn't quite as tight a fit as that before, but I might be wrong. It looks like there's silver plated contacts actually on that. No surprise there. Right, that's that done. So we've got a couple more jobs still to do before I can get this fully back together. I've just got to give this one a going over, and I've got to have a real old go at this one. That could take a while. Plus I've got to see if I can find a couple knobs. I know I've got knobs that will fit the tuning and the volume, but at this stage I haven't got anything that will fit the bass and treble, unfortunately. Real shame, but that's somewhere I'll come across something that will fit anyway. So thanks for watching so far. Back in a minute. Right, I've just given it a once over with some sort of plastic clean and shine, and that's where we are. I'll say it's 100% better than what it was before. I've found a couple little tiny specks where I can see light through the dial plate, so I'm just going to go over those with a very fine paintbrush, touch them in, let that dry off, and then we'll be carrying on with the reassembly. I was also thinking about doing an alignment. Of course I do need it out of the chassis to do an alignment, so we'll see on that. I think we'll see how it performs first, because I'm not going to do an alignment on it if it's not necessary. Still don't like that one there, you know. Someone's twiddled with that, probably to try and get it working, when all along it was a transistor gone. Well, not gone, but pretty shot. That's that one. This set has certainly had some pretty major surgery done to it. I just hope they've got everything back in. It's been one of them radios really that it's a lot of components. Yes, as I say, I've only changed two capacitors on the main board, and that was purely because they were out of spec. Quite a bit out of spec. Let's just try again. There we go. It's a pretty precise fit. So up above we've just got the 4 washers. Four little tiny nuts. I should think Dynatron dreaded any of these coming back to work on. Certainly they wouldn't have made any money on the repairs. Not unless they charge people hundreds of pounds, which is likely, but it'd be interesting if anyone knows what one of these sets would have cost back in the day. As I say, it's from the mid-60s really. I would assume that because the service manual says 66, so I will have to look it up in radio and television servicing in my books just to see if it says anything in there. Right, let's tweak them up. Can't remember which one it was now, was it that one? Yeah. Right, that's that. Aerial. Tiny screw and washer there. Not a washer. Fiddly fiddly. Oh. Come on. Cascades. Nut. It is tiny. There we go. Have a stick that fits that one. Possibly that one. 7 3/4. Oh, come back. You can tell the turntable's pretty good on this one. No, smaller than that. There he is. Okay, I'm not going to go mental with it, just finger tight. Let's just give him a fraction more. A little low profile tool should hopefully get in there. Will that get in there? No, not quite. Oh well. It'll have to be finger tight then. And a little tweak with an adjustable spanner. There we go. So that is pretty much that together. It's starting to look like a radio again. It's starting to look like a very nice radio actually. Let's get that light sorted. Yeah, it's coming together nicely. And, hopefully in a minute we'll have the big switch on. Okay, it's finally getting back together. As I said, I've done a quick sort of check on the alignment, but really I altered medium wave a little bit and long wave, but not that I listened to that really. It's nice to have it there. So anyway, the back cover is on. I took the chassis back out to align this back panel, so let's get rid of my faulty parts a minute. Back on with the serious bits. Let's get the top bolted back on. Again, I've tightened that handle up so it doesn't flop about now. Doesn't look like that's going to do any harm with it being a little bit tighter than normal. Normally work loose anyway. As I say, I've gone through this and lubricated all these little pulleys, this volume pots, the bass and treble controls have all been cleaned. Really spent a long time on this radio, and hopefully when it all goes back together and we give it a test, it will sound amazing. Certainly it did in preliminary testing after I changed the transistors, but it's never going to sound as good as it actually will in the case all screwed back together. So that's the plan, get it back together, then I'll do a final video and I'll redo my shortwave test on this radio. I will leave the other video up though so you can see it before and after. Okay, the dial plate has all been cleaned up and shined nicely. The only thing I have got to do is put the trim back on it, which I need to just polish up quickly first before I put it back on this faceplate. So that's my next trick. That's these. So they're not in bad nick, but there's a couple spots of rust on one that need polishing out, and that should hopefully be back together. Okay, I just thought I'd show you quickly what I was doing here. I'm just refixing the chrome trim around the dial face, but before it almost looked like sellotape all the way along, so I didn't want to do that. So what I'm doing is I'm just peeling off little tiny bits of double-sided tape. Fiddly, I know. I'm just sticking them to the edge of the dial plate. One in the middle. So I'm just sticking 3 on the longer bits, one in the middle and one either end. Careful, don't want to scratch that up. There we are. Coming back together. Now these end pieces, I'm really not sure what configuration to do these in. Do I tuck them in underneath, or do I put them over the top? Now I'm not going to fix those end pieces because they weren't fixed before, it's only the long pieces, so there we are. Looks like I've got 2 little tiny bits to touch up there on the paintwork, which is a pain because I thought I'd finished all that. But I will do it. Yeah, just 2 little spots there I've got to touch up. Apart from that, we're good to go. Okay, just brought this radio in quickly to show you in relation to the Dynatron. One of the things with the Dynatron is it has got the wrong control knobs on it. Now I found a couple Maplin ones for the bass and treble control, which they're not brilliant, but it should be these. This is a Hacker shortwave Herald. I forgot I had another shortwave radio, but yeah, Hacker shortwave Herald. So all I'm going to do for the time being is just pinch these, just for the purposes of getting this one back nice. And I've just got to keep my eyes open for some more. And again, I can't use these because the spindles are much smaller, unfortunately. But yes, shame, because I really did want to get that radio 100%, but I'm not quite going to get there. So if anyone else got any knobs, I'll happily purchase them from you. So I'm going to whip these off for now, pop them on there, and then we're good to go.